Welcome to another episode of Functional Fiction, a place where we review tech from movies a bit too seriously, and then we are rating it using this scale. For today we have Kingsman, Secret Service organization who are known for having very good tech. Let's watch Kingsman.
Gentlemen, I'm thankful to say it's been 17 years since we last had occasion to use this decanter. Lancelot was an outstanding agent and
What's nice, we have very bare-bone UI, we have very bare-bone text.
true Kingsman. He will be sorely missed. To Lancelot.
Conference indicator, which from a UI standpoint, from designing software, you want to dictate, you want to showcase to a given person whether or not, his media are getting transferred, whether or not someone else is connected. You wouldn't want this to happen in the background, so having a conference like this indicator is a good thing to have.
Please. Uganda, 2012.
Comparable to military style tech, where you need to have some kind of informations, but those informations are only supportive and they shouldn't distract you that much. And having green and black contrast is quite good because in majority of cases it doesn't distract you. It's visible within multiple different sceneries and backgrounds, and in general it's quite fine to have. So assuming that Kingsman is Secret Service organization which is paramilitary, having military styled tech is definitely aligned.
Synthetic cathinones. They put it in the water supply of a guerrilla army base. Rage, cannibalism, multiple fatalities. Chechnya 2013. Insurgents turned on one another. Indisputably the work of our mercenaries, but no trace of any chemicals of any kind.
So what happened to Lancelot?
We tracked him to this property.
Pretty much reinvented PowerPoint at this stage. Maybe a bit more dynamic, but he has some kind of information which he is able to transfer from whatever he's holding, maybe some kind of tablet. He's able to transfer it to like a virtual screen, which is one synchronized screen on the frame itself.
If you're looking for another rent boy, they're on the corner of Smith Street.
Manners maketh man.
Every part of the ecosystem in Kingsman is quite unified. We again have the green theme. You have only one indicator, which, assuming that this umbrella doesn't have connection to the internet and so on, and its only purpose is to either stun, shoot, or electrocute someone. Then having only one element in terms of, hey, shoot here, it will shoot here, and then an indicator of a mode, which is nice because it doesn't obstruct the view and still is visible and is like very nicely positioned in terms of your eyes. It's very good pattern for the sake of usability of this exact gadget.
Follow me, yeah?
Quite straightforward. This is more military based tech because you can see only the very basic and most important information that you need. So like your angle, the altitude, and probably the positioning in every plane. Apart from that, super normal stuff. You can buy like a motorcycle helmets with such things. Military personnel has access to such elements even right now, so that's quite standard thing without any new interesting breakthrough.
Fuck
that guy, whoever he is. I'm gonna...
Oh, and here we have the other spectrum. So we have the main villain, Vincent. Similar pattern, like you are very text heavy, a lot of contrast going on. It's not made to be pretty, it's made to be functional and show you only the most functional and most important data you might need. Similar pattern. I'm not sure if this kind of person would have tool like this, because it's again more in a way of military based tools to have this kind of data heavy interfaces. But apart from that, yeah, it might work.
Welcome. I'm sure you've adhered to Valentine's strict no weapons policy, but if you don't object...
Of course.
Thank you. Do you have any luggage?
Congratulations, Mycroft. You just graduated from my pilot to my valet.
You cheeky.
Understood? Good. Thank you.
I have no idea what he does. He just holds a button on the keyboard. What this kind of action implies is that he's holding it to start performing actions. It might be some sort of a shortcut at most, so that, you know, when he's holding one specific button, then he is performing multiple different set of scripts that he programmed before. That it's possible, but the holding thing is not really a normal way to do it. You'd rather have, you know, some kind of combination of the keys, of the shortcuts, rather than having holds. And after he stops pushing it, anything that was happening stopped and got quite static. So this again might be an indication of a shortcut.
Merlin, you clocking this?
Yes, I am. Stay focused. Lancelot, you're doing great.
There is not that many things happening, so you have two monitors on the sides, which are mostly for the preview from cameras, from glasses and the helmet, which is fine when you have someone to navigate you. You want this kind of stream to be happening. I'm not so sure, like they are in the bunker. I'm not sure if this kind of stream would be even possible.
Not much further to go.
Yes, Merlin.
Eggsy, get me online now.
Yep.
And same as we had at the very beginning of the movie, we have like HUD embedded within the glasses, and you can see that you have transmitting info. So again, very nice way to show to the user wearing the glasses that his video is not on for his own purposes only, but for streaming, and someone else can look at it. Definitely like a streaming of a screen from Vincent. So we know that Kingsman rely on a lot of streaming, a lot of elements both from their own ecosystem, but also they're trying to capture the screen of someone else's, as we can see here.
I'm not taking any chances. Okay, you sent out a 2-minute warning. I'm starting the override. All right, let's do this.
Table, Vincent table, which now we can see that it's more visual based. It has a bit more fancy thing going on. You have more gradients, you have more animation, so you can see the differentiation between Kingsman ecosystem and Vincent ecosystem. Where he puts his hand, that there are some kind of sensors, and it's good that, you know, it's an indication that, hey, put your hands here to authorize something. We have very, very big information about the actions. So biometrics authorized. So something failed. Handling of those errors is quite important aspect, which is often overlooked when building applications, because application will be able to say that something is wrong. But in order to say what exactly is wrong, you need to plan out for one thing, having the backend layer to tell you what exactly went wrong, whether it was some kind of data processing issue, whether it was some authorization issue. it needs to capture those things, and it needs to then tell to the front layer, so the visualization layer, how to handle it. And then the visualization layer should also be handled in a way that it's predefined. You can have it generic, so you have also same message that something went wrong, or the text only is changing. But in many cases, you might want to design specific errors which are aligned to whatever is happening, which will have different coloring, which will trigger different actions, or repeating of the same process, for example, at once.
Nice. Well done, both of you.
It's not working. It's supposed to be working. What the fuck?
And here we see that the colors change, so the error handling is a big thing here. Interesting that it really takes a lot of space.
Oh, no.
We are starting to mixing the two ecosystems together. As we established earlier, it's good that it's established earlier, by the way, but Merlin can like hijack the screen from other guys' computers. In this case, we are not really sure on what we are looking at, but we have overlapping items about one thing, the violet element from the supervillain ecosystem. We see that there are like two layers embedded within each other. So what we are indicating is that here Merlin had to have designed a way to, have specific elements translated to human digested language, something which generative artificial intelligence does right now. It has some kind of scripts, but it's able to translate it to natural language quite easily. This is something what we have here. So biometric security detected simply means that there was some kind of code that had enforced you to do biometric data. There was some kind of function, probably within supervillain ecosystem. And our AI would have to translate it so that we can understand, hey, we need to do biometric scanning.
I'm afraid not.
Stab that in.
This is mine. I'll show you yours. Good choice.
How long to relink this?
Nice thing, again, a lot of attention was put here to error handling. So connection lost, we already can see that if something like this is happening, we have part of the screen where exactly this is happening. You have specifically pre-programmed information that should be then triggered in terms of connection lost for given satellites. I'm not sure what would happen if they would lost like 10 satellites at once, because then you wouldn't really have space. Maybe you'd need to swipe around them. But yeah, the connection itself was lost. Sure, we don't know what exactly this means. We just know that the connection was lost.
Light chain.
He'll take an hour, maybe two.
Bullshit! Just bring these two closer together.
But that's not yours.
Very interesting pattern, what we saw here, which is white canvas. So we are assuming that the whole table is then a canvas which has multiple different layers. And we are loading each layer depending on what the user wants to zoom in. So he just expanded certain area which he grabbed and focused on the satellite. And after that, we are like zooming in terms of both data. We are loading more data regarding this specific context. But also we are, making more space for this data to be pinpointed. So nice thing to do. You can see similar thing in tools like Miro, FigJam, for example, and a couple of other tools which allow you to have like an infinite canvas, infinite space, and zoom in, zoom out, and resize elements depending on the need and the context.
V-Glass, call E-Man. E is V. Listen, man, I got a little hiccup on this end. I need a piggyback. One of my satellites just went down, but it's right next to one of yours. You read my mind. How long before you make that happen?
Go.
All right, we should be coming back online.
It would be quite hard to achieve because on one thing you need to set up where exactly it needs to go. Another thing, you'd need to know that this satellite is your own itself. Doing it within 5 minutes probably wouldn't be that possible, knowing that the other guy with whom the E would be on the phone, he wouldn't do it on his own. He would need to call his IT guy. The IT guy would need to do something. Like apart from the fact that satellites do not move in a way shown here, but the percentage would need to be established in terms of having specific coordinate and knowing its current location, and we would need to calculate it. Making this on the spot would be very troublesome. So this thing looks a bit unrealistic to do, definitely in so short time. And knowing that this item, this satellite, was only a preview of some other satellite, you most likely wouldn't have connection to other company, other person's satellite. You just know it's there, but you wouldn't be able to, get any kind of details about this, or definitely know in which direction it's moving. If it starts moving, you'd need to track out the movements, you'd need to calculate in which direction it's going, because you have only the lagging metrics available.
10%?
Oh, shit.
Eggsy, Valentine's using someone else's satellite. It's going to reconnect the chain. It's going to take him no time at all. It's at 20%.
Yeah, there was some animation that to indicate it.
Did you save the world?
Yes, I did.
So, you gonna come in?
Yes, I am. Merlin, the cell's locked. How do I get in?
He used keyboards. I have a feeling that within this world people really do not like mouses, because normally you just either touched it or either go with a mouse and pinpoint this exact location, rather than have this kind of animation, try to direct system to show you details about this exact screen. It's interesting that you have this kind of map. I'm wondering whether this map was drafted before, whether it's just a picture with specific data point related to camera, entrances, and only those points are interactive, or whether or not the whole map is, for example, rendered on the go based on some elements. I have no idea how it would work, but both cases would be definitely possible to achieve.
625.
Merlin, you're the governor.
You owe me Eggsy.
He just closed the door from the inside, and I bet that there is no way to exit, to leave the doors when you leave it like this. So most likely they closed themselves from the inside out, and they would need to ask someone later on to open. On the left-hand side, there was a preview from a Lancelot screen, from Lancelot camera. It got destroyed, and here we have nothing, which is kind of an empty space, which is not usable. As we are no longer within the critical part of the mission, maybe he just didn't bother with it. But yeah, that's a nice detail that it was in the same place as the camera. The camera got destroyed and it's not here.
Eggsy. Oh. Oh my word.
Let's wrap up Kingsman tech, starting with feasibility. Would it be possible to build this tech shown today? I think the short answer is yes. In Kingsman there wasn't that many tools which screamed, hey, fantasy tech. Most of it was either very simple terminal military style based data. There were some augmented reality which is definitely simpler than holograms. They've presented also some interesting tables which are just big canvas with a couple of features embedded and just nice way of error handling. So for me it's a 10. Like, this tech exists already. Usefulness. Would it improve anyone's life? Yes, I think it's useful. Like, all of the tech shown had some kind of purpose, especially on the Kingsman side. In terms of Vincent tech, it was okay, it was useful. Like, someone could actually use it, someone could imagine it as a front-end layer of whatever was happening within there. So it works. It's not like super efficient, it's not super terrible, there was no random activities going on. So from my end, it's 5 for usefulness. As for intuitiveness, Kingsman definitely put some effort into making the thing intuitive. They have very predefined items working on together. They had very organized layouts of windows. So that's definitely one thing. They were very data heavy, which is not that easy to grasp on without any kind of training. That's one caveat. On the other hand, the very visual items would require some training definitely on the Vincent side, but it was easy to interact. You know, you had very big indicator when to put your hand. So it definitely was easy. I would assume it's an 8 because it was very intuitive. It's not like you'd need some kind of training to handle both of them. Giving it to someone currently would not be an issue. So 8. Wow factor. After the whole video, we can all agree that it wasn't that cool. You have some gadgets and you have very interesting shoes, you have very interesting like rings, you have very interesting umbrellas that some of the screens are embedded within umbrella. But from the perspective of the software that you have, I would say Kingsman definitely feels outdated. Vincent though seems a bit awkward, like you don't really know what is happening apart from having very nice, well handled errors. Apart from that, I wouldn't give it that much. I think 2 is fine in terms of wow factor. Feels a bit awkward, feels a bit outdated, not that cool as a software itself. As for pain of building such ecosystem, Kingsman was definitely much more into streaming, into capturing different data and like analyzing whatever is happening on the backend side of things so that we can translate it into nice digestive instructions for the user. But it's similar thing on the other side of the Vincent. Most of those tools are available right now. We couldn't see any kind of tech which is extremely magic in terms of what they do, what is their function. I think I will give them an 8. Obviously, like the higher the score in this case, in this category, the better. Like 0, you know, it's just total magic and you'd need to reinvent the universe in order to achieve it. So here in our case, I think it's just like 9. You can do it if you have like very intelligent, smart guy and access to government military level tech, probably doable. Cost. There is definitely some custom thing in terms of, you know, satellite connections on the Vincent side, in terms of streaming and capturing the data from the perspective of government. But isn't that terribly costly to do? I don't think so. I think that it's actually, considering on how big of a scale they work, majority of this tech wouldn't be that costly to build as they are not super crazy. They didn't have any strange features. I think from my perspective it's an 8, which is good enough score. So Kingsman, not that cool, very realistic, but as a whole I still love the movie and love the idea of having this kind of secret service techie James Bond style where you have different kind of zippers and different kind of pens doing random stuff. From a software, not really picking the mark. Final score for today is... And let's take a look at our ranking. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Let me know what other movies, videos or games you'd like to rate. Let me know if you agree with the ratings. Cheers.